Welcome to the Absolute Wisdom Framework channel. A quick foundation. This video is a philosophical guide to logic only, not a substitute for clinical advice. Every regret, every fear, they are all consequences of a single, hidden assumption about reality. This video reveals the ultimate solution, the principle of dependent origination. You need 3 lessons from this blueprint to dismantle the root of all emotional pain.
If you are one of the millions trapped in the cycle of regret over the past and fear of the future, listen closely. You are not a failure, but you are stuck in a logical trap. What if I showed you the single piece of unyielding logic that could dismantle that trap, ending self-blame forever? It is not self-help. It is pure, unyielding logic. This is the logic that will give you back your emotional freedom. There are moments in life that fundamentally change how you see everything. They are rare, yet they exist. For me, that moment came not through faith, but through the unyielding logic of Buddhist concepts. These concepts are a precious and invaluable gift, a master key to unlocking the confusion within your own mind. I want to share the 3 main gifts these teachings gave me. First, the answer to the cosmic questions of the mysterious world. Second, a profound change in how you perceive reality itself. And finally, freedom from the emotional weight of time. Let's begin with the biggest questions of all, the cosmos and the beautiful puzzle of the logical universe. I want to share the first invaluable gift I received. I remember, as a young boy, traveling by train. The moon was big and beautiful, and it seemed to follow me all the way. I would look up at the clear sky with bright stars and look far away at the ranges of mountains in the village and spend hours wondering where the sky truly ended. I was always looking for a beginning and an end. The profound answer I found in Buddhist concepts shattered those questions. The moon wasn't following me, and the sky doesn't have an end. The answer is emptiness, or shunyata. It means things are empty of independent, fixed existence. The sky is never created and never disappears because it has no solid, fixed form to begin with. It is vast and conditioned. We couldn't answer those questions because we had a habit, a conceptual frame, that demanded everything must have a start date and an expiration date. We were taught to think inside the box of beginning and end. The logic of dependent origination shatters that box. It shows us that everything is just a flow of causes and conditions. Dependent origination. The continuous flow of causes and conditions is simple and logical. For instance, to grow a magnificent tree, you need the seed, the primary cause. But the seed alone does nothing. It requires a series of conditions: the right weather, fertile soil, consistent watering, and the patient care a gardener takes. The tree's existence is entirely dependent on that combination. When any one condition changes, the tree changes. Everything in the universe works this way. It's a vast, dependable, uncreated clockwork. This is the gift of intellectual clarity. Now, let's take that profound intellectual clarity and apply it to a practical, difficult problem: eliminating self-blame and relational strain. Strain whispers that you are failing as partners, but the logic reveals that there is no singular, permanent you who is failing. There is only a fleeting combination of causes. Let's take a common deep stressor, a relationship weighed down by a busy life, too much stress, excessive time spent at work, looking after children, and managing housework. The persistent, heavy feeling whispers that you are failing to connect. But let's apply the logic of dependent origination to dismantle that narrative. The logical dissection. The current strained outcome is dependent on a dozen external factors. For instance, the economic pressure to maintain 2 demanding careers, the conditioned communication style you learned from your parents, the overwhelming, non-personal demands of raising young children and maintaining a household, and critically, the simple biological fact that you are both fundamentally different people when you first met than you are today. You are both continuously conditioned and changing. You see, The flaw wasn't in your character or your love for each other. The flaw was in the temporary, impossible combination of those external conditions. This process isn't about excusing behavior. It is about logically separating the relational strain from the partner's identity. It is a powerful form of objective self-inquiry that immediately frees up emotional space. This understanding is the key to finally listening to and seeing each other as you are now, not as you were then. The actionable shift, the present moment. The current pattern is the conditioned belief that enjoyment is a reward to be had after the tasks are finished. You are dividing your time, thinking, when I finish these tasks, then I can enjoy my own time. The shift, informed by dependent origination, is to realize that the enjoyment is a condition you can cultivate within the task itself. This applies to every moment, not just major life events. Whether you are doing house chores, commuting, working, or taking care of children, you do not need to wait until the task is complete to start living and enjoying your time. If you recognize that every task is a flowing condition, not a fixed obstacle, you can inject new conditions, mindful presence, and shared appreciation. You can choose to be fully present and derive fulfillment from the care and attention you are giving. This is the ultimate reintegration, recognizing that the time spent skillfully on any task, done with clarity and presence, is already time spent for yourself. This is why logic is the first gift. It replaces the endless, circular rumination of stress and self-blame with a clear, sequential analysis of cause and effect. Once you identify the conditions, you gain the clarity required to stop repeating them. This logical clarity leads directly to our second gift, the profound change in how we view our own perception. The cosmic logic of conditionality leads directly to our second gift. I began to view society through a lens of nuance, yet I often felt a deep, painful pity for people who were quick to judge. I had built a fortress of rightness around my own perception. But then I began to study the subtle, often difficult teachings of Buddhism. The revelation was this: if the world has no fixed created form, then the people who hurt us, and even the judge within us, are not fixed either. They are just conditioned energy. When someone acts out of anger, they aren't a bad person. They are simply following the logic of the mechanism, feeling, giving rise to craving, followed by clinging, resulting in action. This is the true gift of changing perception. I stopped feeling pity and developed genuine compassion for the flow of human suffering. This is the power of the perception of impermanence. The only reason regret holds you captive is because your mind perceives the consequence of your past choice as permanent, as a fixed fact. But the truth is, the consequences are changing every moment. Let's stop perceiving the failure and start perceiving the value beneath it. Think about the last time you felt envy or judgment toward a colleague who succeeded where you failed. The natural reaction is to see them as a fixed, inherently superior person. But if their success is merely a result of a fleeting collection of external conditions, timing, funding, specific market knowledge, then their success is also impermanent. It is a condition, not a fixed identity. And your failure is also a condition, not a character flaw. The most vital action here is value clarification. When you feel the sting of failure, ask yourself, what core value is this feeling pointing to? If you regret a financial loss, the value isn't money, it's stewardship or security. Use the pain as a compass. It instantly transforms the regret from a burden into a clear, actionable directive for your present moment. This transformed energy naturally unlocks the final state, freedom. This profound, unconditional understanding leads to our most liberating gift, freedom from the emotional weight of time. For so many years, I would wake up in the middle of the night, trapped in the past, asking, why did I do that? If only I'd known better. But when you truly integrate dependent origination, you finally see the past for what it really was, a finished condition. You could not have done better then, because your actions and attitudes were strictly conditioned by the ignorance and the confined thinking you possessed at that specific time. This is not an excuse. It's freedom through acceptance. The mind projects this same conditioned thinking into the future, a phantom of fear that creates anxiety about what might go wrong. You are free to let this phantom dissolve. The freedom test. To claim this gift, stop asking, "What if I regret this later?" and start asking, "Do I possess the sufficient conditions to act skillfully right now?" If the answer is yes, you act. If the answer is no, you pause and you acquire the missing condition. This freedom simplifies everything to the present moment. You are no longer trying to control the uncontrollable past or the unknowable future. You are simply acting skillfully, right now. Understanding conditionality is the ultimate surrender, but it is a surrender that empowers. The past is a finished condition, and the future is an open, unwritten condition. We are free to simply act skillfully, right now. The final blueprint. This is the invaluable gift, the logical truth that leads to unconditional compassion, which finally frees the heart from the anchors of regret and the shadows of fear. This entire framework is a living blueprint for your mind. These concepts are not historical documents, nor are they articles of faith. They are a living blueprint for your mind, because the ultimate gift of the Buddha's teaching is not religion. It is not to believe, but to see the real reality around us. These concepts are not articles of faith. They are tools for seeing reality clearly. The final lesson is not about belief, but about seeing. If this message resonated with the seeker in you, if you are ready to claim the power of the logical present, I urge you to take the one final step. Please subscribe, and let me know in the comments. Which of these three gifts, logic, perception, or freedom, do you need most right now?